Well, hello friends, Coach Bob with you today, and today, man, have I got a great video for you, man. What a wonderful day it's been. I'm out riding, listening to a little Indigo Girls, man. I don't know if you've ever listened to the Indigo Girls, but they're a couple of great musicians. I think it's the Nomads Indian Saints album is one of my favorites. Be sure and check it out. What have we got in store for us today? Well, I've got a great surprise for you. It's been a great surprise for me as well. At my 6 o'clock here, riding with me is a couple by the name of John and Patty, and we'll show you who they are when we get off here at the next stop. Anyone who's ever ridden with me knows that I love to get out and ride. It doesn't matter what the weather is. It was rainy earlier today. I was willing to ride in the rain, but man, we got a beautiful day. It's just so nice. It's in the 50s, I think, maybe the 60s, low 60s, high 50s. It's perfect riding weather. A little bit breezy maybe, but other than that, I mean, it's pure perfection. Let me tell you a little bit about John and Patty, because, you know, I know they would be embarrassed if I bragged on them too much, but I never let that stop me before. So what I want you to do is down in the comment section, right after you hit that big old fat thumbs up button and subscribe to this channel, I want you to say, hey, John and Patty, you're awesome. All right, enough of that. Let me tell you about them. All right, well, John is retired out of the aviation industry, and Patty is retired out of the medical field, and they are just wonderful people. You know, it's funny that there are times you meet people, there's something just magical about them. It's this camaraderie that you have that goes way deeper than the surface, you know. It's funny, you know, you look at the water when you're out sailing or something. What gets you is what's below that water. It's not what's on the surface. And what really matters in people is when you get into the deeper water. And from the very first time I spoke with John on the phone, and from the very first time I met Patty, there was just a sweetness about them. It was a very deep water feeling, to where you know that they're trustworthy and that they're kind and that they care about their fellow man. They drove in all the way from Kansas. Yeah, Kansas, a long way, man. I'm in Tallahassee, Florida. So that's 1,000+ miles. That's a super long way, and they did it, man. And I want to tell them thank you for stopping and taking time out of your schedule, out of your life, as you're visiting family and doing things. That heated grips are getting hot. Taking your time to see me and visit my family. They got to meet Baba yesterday and give her a big hug. And we got to talk last night. We had some wings, and over a meal got to just talk, and it was sweet. It's funny when people ask you a question, a lot of times they go, how you doing? They want to hear fine. They're not those kind of people. They'll probe in the areas that need probing. They'll ask you, and they're intrinsically and deeply listening. They're active listeners, and you don't see that in people a lot these days. Everyone's waiting to say something. You know, well, I would listen to what you have to say, but I'm too busy thinking about my response to hear what you have to say. And they're not that way at all. And it's a sweet thing. They made my family feel very comfortable around them. And we're going through some hard time with Baba's health, as you know. And they were just gentle and sweet to her. Gave her a big old hug. And it was just, oh no. My camera just came off. But they had this sweetness about them. They gave Baba a big old hug and made her feel loved. You know, she was obviously welcome. We were in our home. But the idea to feel loved by people you've never met before is quite special. It really is. And it's a gift. You know, they're people of faith, and that's absolutely apparent in their presentation of themselves, in their life, in the way they feel about things. Life, death, finances, motorcycle riding. Everything about them says, I am responsible and loving and kind. And that's a beautiful thing. Well, what we're going to do, they're behind me, so you can't see them. But what we are going to do is we're going to head down to the lake, and you'll get to meet them just for a minute. But I felt like that I needed to give you some real data about them before you met them, so that you could kind of connect the dots about what they are and what makes them tick and what makes them such an integral part of the Coach Bob 3 family. I want to thank you guys for all you do, not just John and Patty, but for every one of you that reaches out with a kind word as we've gone through things this year and we're approaching the holidays. You know, what you do, it matters way more than you realize. All right. Well, enough of my babbling. Let's do some riding and go check it out down by the lake. Road ends in water. It's one of my favorite places right here.
That's the prettiest
Isn't that,
canyon I've ever
isn't that great? Road ends in water. Did you see that sign?
Yeah, the moss is a lot of. It must have stormed pretty hard because there's a lot of branches down and stuff.
Well, I will tell you, if we just have a little bit of rain and a little bit of wind, it's just, there's so many trees, you know, and you get the dead limbs in the trees and they get waterlogged and then it gets heavy and it just falls.
Couple homes up there were almost ate over by branches.
Just to let you know, I've been telling folks about you guys. I got the cameras running just to let you know. But yeah, I come down here when things get a little nuts. You know, I come down here and bring a thermos of coffee. There are several landings, right? There's this one, there's another one down there that has like a little dock you can walk out on, and you know, I'll just bring a cup of coffee down here and sit here and watch the sun come up.
I mean, the canopy, those roads are just...
Isn't that great?
You don't see that in Kansas.
Yeah, you're not in Kansas anymore, Dorothy. You know, when I bought my house, the main reason, there was nothing out where I was. I mean, that was 20 years ago. There were no red lights between me and into town. I used to race bicycles. And one of the reasons I moved out here was these roads. Because I could train on them. There were no cars. 110-degree days, you're in the shade almost all day long. You know? I used to run. In fact, where we made that turn, when I would run, that's where I'd turn around and go back. Yeah, I would do 20-plus mile runs, yeah. So what'd you think of... McCracken.
Oh, that one on your video.
Yeah, that's where, you know, I'm going to be.
Kept up with you though.
You did great. You did great. That's where I do the test, you know, the handling test on this. Yeah, that's where I'll do that. I'll go out there and do a few runs and get the tires all warmed up and then do that. And then on Miccosukee Road, the Canopy Road we were on.
That was cool, that big branch. Getting the duck for a bread.
In fact, you guys can go first. How's that? You want to go first? That way I'm not blocking. That's way I'm not impeding your view. This Spyder looks great. He's done a lot of work to that thing, man. You see all the lights on it. It is lit up like the 4th of July. It's highly visible. He's a real smart guy, so he's done it right. He has absolutely done it right. He's put a lot more effort in that than you could possibly imagine. Everything from the way he's buttoned up the lights and hauled it on the trailer. I mean, he really is very attentive to detail. He's the kind of guy that if you want something done, you want John doing it. We have been on a wonderful ride today. We're going down a road right now called White House Road. I used to ride this road a whole lot. This is a wonderful, wonderful part of Tallahassee. You know, I always bring folks out here because it's so beautiful, and we get so caught up in life that we forget to take the time for ourselves. Well, this is the point where the GoPro failed. You know, it's part of the YouTube experience. But I do want to show you a few pictures of John and Patty of them as they got ready to leave, and just some still shots of us hanging out at the hotel with them and me and Coach Vic. It was quite a wonderful visit. I want to thank them for taking time out of their life to share a little bit of love and peace and joy with my family around the holidays. Thank you, John and Patty. You are real friends, and I really, really appreciate it. All right. Well, do me a favor until next time. You, yes, you, go out, buy the motorcycle of your dreams, eat right, take care of yourself, and remember, if you're not having fun, you're doing it wrong. Now you go seize the day, and I'll see you on the road real